People of the Purple Butterfly here, otherwise known as People of Seven on Blue Sky and YouTube, people are elsewhere on the internet. My soaps located Purple Butterfly soaps.myshopify.com, my blog Purple Butterfly people.blogspot.com. And today I'm just sitting here beside myself. I am so amazed. Okay, here's what you need to know. On Tuesday, my daughter's brakes went out, and yeah, I told her don't drive the car, get that fixed immediately, so forth and so on. And she was down for approximately a day. However, that meant she couldn't pick up the baby from daycare. She couldn't take the baby to daycare. She was in a bind. It was like, I'll go pick the baby up, so forth and so on. Well, on my way home from picking the baby up, my battery light came on. And I'm going, well, that's odd. I haven't seen that light before. So I called my daughter. I said, I got this battery light on, but this is a new battery. I don't get it. She said, you need to take that car to AutoZone. I'm going to call Earl. So she called my son Earl. And he said, Mom, take the car to AutoZone. Don't bother to try to analyze it. Just do it. Okay, fine. You know, I know how to drive cars. I know how to drive buses. I don't know how to fix stuff. So I went ahead and took the car to AutoZone like I was instructed. No problem. I'm looking for that little sheet of paper. And they did a printout and said that I have 75% battery and 75% power in the battery, and the battery is good. Okay, cool. So I could go home. So I drove on home, thought nothing else of it. In the morning, because, Toby's car was still down with the brake issue, I got up, got dressed much earlier than I'm used to. Drove to her house to pick him up to take him to daycare. So we get down to the bottom of Corrane Hill, right where it splits between Beekman and Corrane. I'm finna turn left on Corrane, so I'm in the left turning lane. And the radio went in and out, the battery light came back on, the air pressure light came on. I'm going, what's going on here? And I'm thinking, do I need to pull over to the side, or is this just another issue like yesterday and I can just keep going? And before I could even finish that thought, the car just turned itself off. And I'm going, what is going on here? So of course, I put the car in gear and, try to start it, and it went click, 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 click. Okay, that's not normal. So I tried again, and I just got this clicking sound. So I put my hazards on. In the meantime, traffic is starting to back up behind me because the light went from red to green, and these folks are blowing their horn. I'm going like this because I figured out my hazards were not working. And I'm going like this. One person pulled up beside me because they're actually in the yellow part of the lane. The right lane, still a left turning lane, empty. But they come this way just so they can yell at me. Why you just sitting there? I said, I'm stuck. Is my hazard lights on? Oh. Then she drove away. The next person, she complained that the light was red for 3 minutes, and I'm sitting here blocking her exit after sitting there 3 minutes for the light. This lane of traffic is still empty. My broke down car is right here. Go around me. Duh. Anyway, my son comes down the hill. Now, I did talk to him. I said, you need to call the police. I'm in a bad location. The car just stopped, so forth. So I'm on my way, Mom. I'm on my way. I was like, yeah, but call the police. I figured that way they could direct the traffic around me or whatever. So he went and took a shower, went to the potty, got dressed, and casually came on down the hill some 30 minutes later, and then parked behind my car, put his hazards on, so that way he can, keep people from running into me. In the meantime, the grandbabies, he roasted me. He said, Gaga, for real? Your car broke? We just gonna sit here? Yeah. Why can't you move? Because, like you said, the car's broke. I'm gonna be late for school. Sweetie, you are already late for school at this moment. Imagine being roasted by a 5-year-old that didn't want to go to school anyway because I don't want to go to school. It's a Wednesday. Yeah, they call that hump day. It's the middle of the week. This is supposed to be a day for taking a break. Who told you that? Well, I don't want to go. Okay, but you're going. So I tickled him until he got dressed because he kept trying to lay back down. You can't lay down when someone's tickling you. So got him dressed, got him in the car, got him down to the bottom of the hill where we couldn't go no further. So my son, he literally, I just assumed he was going to push, I put the car in neutral and he pushed it with his car. He said, no, that would destroy your car. This is a Pathfinder or Trailblazer, or one of them big cars. I can't remember the name of his car at this exact moment. But he has a huge SUV type car. He said, that will destroy your little car. We're going to push this the hard way. So he literally said, and steer. I am steer. Turn the wheel. I am turning the wheel. When there's no power steering, that wheel is hard to turn. But I'm still... Anyway, he pushed me by hand, first to the left and then to the right, so that way we could straighten up and get out of the active lane of traffic. And then I sat in his car with the grandbaby, enjoying the air conditioning because, we needed it. It was 88 degrees. In the meantime, he finally did call the police and, asked what the procedure was, so forth, so on. And he mentioned, and I have to get the grandbaby to daycare, so forth, so on. They said, well, are the hazard lights on? Well, they're failing. They're out of active traffic. Yeah, we got them in the median. Well, you have so much time before the city takes the car away, but it could stay there. So we drove to the daycare, dropped the baby off, drove back to my car, and yeah, while we're waiting for the tow truck, who said 30 minutes, and he's got all his hazards, so that way he's protecting my car, and his battery went out while we were waiting because he's using up the battery with the car not being on to protect my car. And then he called the tow truck driver. He said, it's been 35 minutes. I don't see the tow truck, so forth, so on. Oh, it's going to be another 35 to 45 minutes because we got tangled up on the car before you. Okay. Yeah. So 3.5 hours later, I finally get back to my house. And that's when the tow truck driver confirmed, because at first they said it was either the starter or the alternator. And, he did a little inspection, Earl did a little inspection. They both agreed it's the alternator. That's going to cost you about $250 to just get the part. Not the installation, just the part. I just paid every bill I own. I don't have $250. What? So, yeah. We get the car to my parking spot. It's a handicapped parking spot, so fortunately I don't have to worry about, anybody putting tickets on my car or anything because it's basically dead in the spot that it's at. In the meantime, I'm like, where am I gonna get this? My neighbor comes walking by and he goes, "Hey Kay, how you doing?" I said, "Mr. Reggie, lifesaver, come here." Because he used to be a mechanic. He's retired now, but he used to be a mechanic. And he told me, "I'll charge you $40 to install it. Just get the part, let me know when you're ready." So now I'm looking at 240, 250 plus 40. And I'm thinking, hey, I could probably swing that if I have a soap sale. And then yesterday he said, let me take a look under your hood. So, I was on my way out. So my daughter, bless her heart, she let me borrow her car to make my deliveries. So I took her car to the post office, sent off some orders, did my therapy session, and then picked the baby up and drove him home to her house. And then I stayed at her house until she got off from work, so that way she could drive me home. And then she had to turn around and drive herself and the baby home. So I got home about 10-ish. She got home closer to 11 because, that's a stretch of road that, yeah, it was a really long day. It's like I had to drink coffee just to get my dinner down and then take my medicine and then go back to bed. In the meantime, while I was at her house online with Biggie, I'm selling soaps, trying to get the $250 plus 40. And then my neighbor told me, "Oh, I can't do it. Your alternator's on the ground." Yeah. What he meant by on the ground is at the bottom of my car instead of at the top of the car. But when he said on the ground, my brain thought it fell out of the car. But anyway, he goes, I got this walker and I'm retired. I can't do it." I was like, "Oh no." He goes, "Yeah, because if I get down that far on the ground, I won't be able to get back up. So the guy that gave you the phone number to a mechanic from the tow truck, go with him. He's going to charge you about $200 though." Okay, so now I'm looking at 250, 40. Oh, we could cross off the 40. So another 200. So that's $450. And I'm going, Lord help, how am I going to do this? So I'm fussing about it, and full transparency, if I think it, I type it. So I'm just sitting there venting online to my friends, and they started buying soap. One person said, "I'm going to sponsor 10 soaps." Huh? I'm going to buy 10 soaps for you to give out to any random person you choose on Biggins Live. Oh, wow. Really? That included the shipping, y'all. These are the 10 soaps. I even let the grandbaby choose them. So he went over there, got 10 soaps. I basically took each bar soap, subtracted it from inventory, so that way there's no conflict with the inventory if someone orders, the soaps that are left. So those 10 soaps have been removed from inventory. I got my winners. I sent them all emails saying, "I need your mailing address." One person still hasn't sent me their mailing address. How am I supposed to send them the soap without the mailing address? Okay, if you don't want to send me your address, that's fine. Send me somebody's address that will get you the soaps so that way you can get your soaps. Send me a P.O. box. Send me some kind of mailing address so I can send you your paid for, no coupon needed, no advertising being thrown your way. This is a gift. come get your prize. Just send me the address so I can send you your soap. So that was such an amazing feeling to package up all those soaps, to send them to the 10 people, that I got a warm fuzzy inside. So I went ahead and immediately took the listing for the 10, because first she said, send me, invoice for the 10 soaps so that way I can do this. Well, okay, fine. That was a draft order. So I went back to that draft order and made it an active listing called Random 10 so somebody could do it again, and modified it so that way it has a description, what's going to happen, how it's going to anchor to their address, even though the final product won't be sent to that address. You could remain anonymous or you can put your name on it. However, so that listing is active now. These soaps are going in packages with a card, so that way the giftee knows that it's a gift. There's no strings attached. You were chosen. Here's your soap. What happened with that? That was $100 plus shipping, so I don't even have to worry about the shipping. I get to keep $100. That's going towards the alternator cost. So to date, I have $216 for the alternator. So almost there for the cost of the part. Now I got to do this a couple of more times so that way I have the cost for the person putting in the part, and then I'll be able to drive my car. And then my son mentioned something like, okay, even though it's a new battery, the battery got drained while you were trying to start it and waiting and the hazard lights on, so forth, so on. So after the alternator is fixed and the discount thing, because you have to take the alternators in the car back to the place where you bought the new alternator so they can do some kind of discount. I'm not familiar with that process. Then I have to actually jump start the car because the battery needs to be replenished. Good thing I don't got to buy a whole new battery on top of it, because that battery was expensive. When I got the car, I bought a battery because the car had been sitting since 2019. It's a 2011 Kia Forte. And when she said, oh, it's just been sitting here, but we need to get it off my property because my husband's going to buy me a nice car. And I'm going, that is a nice car. No, a nice car. That's why I'm getting rid of this. Because she asked me, how much would it cost to go to Pull and Pay or one of them places that buy junk cars? And I said, depends on the car. They gave me $275 for my old car. And she goes, yeah, that's what I'll do. I said, here's a better idea. So I made an offer. She accepted the offer. That's how I got the Kia Forte. And the first thing I did, because it had a engine light on, I said, what's this light on for? She goes, oh, that's an O2 sensor. Okay, fine. And the car needed a jump on the way home from Middletown to Cincinnati. And I went, oh yeah, she said it was sitting since 2019. So instead of just getting a jump, I said, well, how much a new battery cost? Well, I had it better in life then, so I went to AutoZone, asked them what the cost of a battery was. They told me. I said, I can afford that, so I bought a battery. That day, they installed it in the car, literally the day I got the car. So that battery is about 4 years old. And when the battery light came on, I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's time for another battery. They said the battery's got 75% juice, is good. They even wrote the word good on this paperwork. So who expected an alternator or a starter? I don't know how this stuff works. know how to drive a car. I can drive a bus. I can drive a van. I had a CDL. I was a school bus driver for 14 years. I know the driving part. I can do basic repairs. I can climb under something, lift the car up, and fiddle and all that. That's what mechanics are for. That's when you call the professional. But a battery, I figure, hey, I'll just change out the battery. No need to change out the battery. It's a good battery. Well, might not be now after this. But yeah, it wasn't the battery, it's the alternator. So now I'm looking at trying to get $500, 200 of which I have now. So that way I could get this car fixed. So, yeah. In the meantime, I'm stuck at home. I'm grounded. I can't go nowhere. And then when I go somewhere, I'm at someone else's mercy. And I'm OCD. Think about that. And my daughter is road rageous. She says she doesn't have road rage, but truly she does. Someone didn't go soon as the light turned green, and you gonna just sit there crying. Calm down. Give them 2 seconds. Don't tell me how to drive my car. Okay. I'm sitting here just trying not to react, and ooh, that was a long day. Because usually when I'm in my car, I'm the boss. Somebody don't like my music, okay, we could turn off the music, but I'm not turning it down. But, you don't tell me, I don't like this, turn to a different station. My station is my station. I have 3 other stations. I have my gospel, I have my country, I have my rhythm and blues. There will be no rock. There will be no hard rock. There will be none of that stuff that I can't understand the words to. There might be some smooth listening and some jazz. They're already pre-programmed. But someone's not going to come to my car and say, I want you to play this and you're going to do that and so forth. So my grandson tried that. That's too loud, turn it down. I don't want music. Turn it off. How can you turn off the music? You said it was too loud. Well, turn it up a little bit. I was like, no, we're going to talk. So I talked his ear off for 20 minutes. I heard about the painting he made in school, the tracing of his name, what all the other kids did, what he did, the field trips, so forth and so on. Now he's tired of talking. He wants music. I turned the music back on. He didn't complain about the music the entire rest of the way home. And when he gets in Gaga's car, Gaga uses music to soothe her so she don't blow up at the other drivers on the road like her mom does, like his mom does. So, yeah. In the meantime, that's my 10. Yep. I've already contacted them, got mailing addresses for 9 of them. The one person is being resistant about giving me their mailing address. I can't send a soap until they do. But in the meantime, if you want to buy any of my soaps, PurpleButterfly Soaps Purple Butterfly Soaps is located at purplebutterfly-soaps.myshopify.com. My blog is located at purplebutterfly-people.blogspot.com. And this has been a long week. I was going to say long couple of days, but it's been a long week. Today is Friday. So by Monday, I'm hoping to have enough sales to cover the cost of the repair. But even if I don't have enough sales, The 10 that I just got the addresses for, and I'm finna package up, and the sales that came before that, all of those are going to be sent to the post office on Monday, because I can't just jump in my car and go, because the car don't work. So I've already made tentative plans. Monday I can go to the post office. Wednesday I can go to the post office. Maybe Friday I could go to the post office, and then for sure again on Monday I could go to the post office. So that's going to be the schedule for sending the packages until the car gets fixed. Because usually if somebody gives me an order, if it's before 3 in the afternoon, I'm getting in the car and, sending that order to the post office when I get them. After that, it goes to the next day. But basically, I like a 1 day turnover. The only time I don't send orders to the post office the day I get the order is on a Friday after 3, because the post office will be closed by the time I get there. I don't go to the post office on Saturday or Sunday. Sunday they're closed, and on Saturday they close at 1. So by the time I even get there, they'll already be closed. So that will turn over to Monday. So yeah, it probably didn't make sense, but it does up here, and that's my process. Anyway, this has been People7 on Blue Sky and YouTube, People elsewhere on the internet. My soaps located at PurpleButterfly Soaps.myshopify.com, my blog, PurpleButterfly-People.blogspot.com. Y'all stay blessed, stay tuned. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit that like button. Bye now. Buy some soap. It's going to really help me out with that alternator.